Welcome back to part 3 of Modern Warfare 2, 2009. In the last part, we did a stealth mission where I absolutely sucked at, recovered the ACS module, and then did an escape scene. And in this one, it will be very interesting. As you saw,
yeah.
I put a warning in front of this.
So this was probably the most infamous part of Modern Warfare 2.
Definitely
Yeah.
controversial.
Definitely controversial.
The mission that spawned probably, I would say, one of the biggest controversies in video gaming.
Okay.
Like, this was huge.
All right.
People were pissed.
So
They were.
yeah.
The funny part is that both in the original and in this game, they give you the chance to skip the mission if you so want to.
Oh really?
Yeah.
So even back then, they had the option to skip it.
They had the hindsight.
Yes. You could skip this mission if you did.
Well, it was either that hindsight or this is something that the whatever the fuck board rates all video games had to like point a red flag at, raise a red flag at. So, yeah.
I'm like, so you can skip the mission if you're not comfortable with seeing this, but of course, I ain't a little bitch. So I'm gonna deal with it because honestly, it does play a decent chunk into the story.
Well, I'd assume so, but
So
yeah.
we're playing it. So in this one, we're playing as the Marine guy who's going undercover, and in this one, he's he is known as Alexi. No, I think his name was Alexia Borden. That's his undercover name. I believe it's my favorite clip that I put in this entire thing.
Why did you have to make it funny?
I'm sorry. I literally sat there and I'm like, how can I make this fucking hilarious as hell? And I'm like, oh my god, wasn't there a clip where someone said good soldiers follow orders? And I had to look it up. And I was like, fuck it, let's do it.
Yeah, that was from Star Wars Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah. I was like,
yeah.
I saw it, I was like, I had to. Because that's essentially what you're doing here.
Yeah, so if the obvious hasn't been said enough, yeah, you're mowing down innocent civilians. Yeah. So.
And the funny part is that you're an American doing this, by the way.
Yeah, so
part in it.
Can you get a little more in detail as to why this was controversial?
This in general of
Just
why
in
it was controversial. It was not very common, especially back then, to portray violent crimes against civilians. Because anybody who lives in America knows that you do not attack civilians, especially if it's a war-based thing. And this was essentially an entire mission that was dedicated to killing civilians.
Yeah.
Now, it was also I don't know if this is actually what it was because they never specified why this mission is what it is, but I believe that it was to open the eyes of people that, hey, gruesome things like this do happen. It's something that just happens in human nature. It sucks that it does, but it does happen, and we can't hide from that.
Right, and so, I mean, on a serious note, I guess it is important on what exactly we put into video games, because there's like a small signet of truth to a little bit, kind of, sort of, not really, tiny. And video games are violent.
Yeah.
And they can influence the minds of the people who play them. That is true. That is true. So, it does matter what...
But to the extent is person by person basis.
Right, yes. Because those who invest in the art form as it is will understand what it's trying to portray. The 7-year-old, on the other hand, might not might not understand exactly what art is.
Exactly.
Yeah. So with this falling into that category, you could potentially see this as the 7-year-old is now going to, I don't know, bomb a mall or whatever we're doing
Yeah.
here. Yeah. It's an exercise of putting two and two together. And so that's why a lot of just video games in general just come under controversy. Now this is solely different from Mario Bros.
Yeah. I am a firm believer that it does. I do believe that parents are responsible for teaching their child what is real and what is fiction.
Yes.
And just because what you see in a game isn't necessarily a good idea in real life. Like,
Yeah.
for here, it might be all fun, but you shouldn't go, obviously, doing something like this in real life. And that's
Right.
something that is instilled on most reasonable people from a young age.
Yeah, and bringing it back to that, because I'm gonna assume it was whatever the board is for rating every single video game had to put the skip button.
The ESRB.
The ESRB. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, the ESRB I think is for America. I think Drew passed their own one as well.
It's,
Yeah, or-
Europe is like Peggy or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So whatever the
That's what we
board.
always hear, Peggy 13.
Right, Peggy 7. Oh yes, Call of Duty is definitely Peggy 7. No, the boards who come up with the rating systems for every single video game, I think it is a indicator for any responsible person for to have the appropriate audiences play the appropriate games.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's something that I briefly discussed with Liam, because as we all know, he is a father and he's raising a child with.
On side note. Well, not a complete side note, but like, you know how useless that is now, considering that most kids can buy games from like the online store.
Yeah, this is just. Can I say my piece? Then we'll get to that, because that's
Okay.
exactly why the controversy exists in the first place.
Well, okay. No, when this game came out, I don't think you could buy it online.
I believe obviously like brick and mortar establishments were more
Popular, and I think
popular
brick and
way
mortar.
to get them. Of course,
Yeah,
in the new day of age, it's everything's online. So.
yeah, everything's online.
And that's the other thing with the non-parental supervision that you were talking about, Cameron.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you are going to raise kids in a super video game centric household, just like Liam is, because I talked with him about it, it's important what types of media that you have on while your children are present. So, and if you are going to, like, again, his kid is only like 2 at the time of this recording.
Well,
but I'm gonna assume that, like, as the kid gets older, that she'll only be relegated to what they think is appropriate for that age, the parents. And so,
I mean, yes, and sometimes no, because my parents like didn't want us to play mature games.
Yeah, that's the thing that we're getting at, because like, not a lot of parents are very responsible people, so they just let the TV raise the children more or less.
There's way too many people that are like that, especially in today's age.
Yeah, that's why like that. That's only the reason why that the 7-year-olds are playing the Call of Duty. Like when you're talking about the OG 09 Modern Warfare 2 lobbies, like.
Yes.
How many of them were consisting of like 7 to 13-year-olds?
It was a good chunk.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So that goes with like the fact that at that time, Modern Warfare 2, that parent probably went to a store and bought it for them.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure it was illegal to sell mature games to kids
It
at some
is,
point.
yeah.
Yeah. I'm disappointed. It isn't the Wii music.
I had to do a Jackass joke. Which is funny because I think not long before this, I had actually watched the new Jackass movie.
Nice.
So,
And honestly, this just came to me.
hey, if this music were in the game originally, maybe there would be a lot less controversy.
Oh my god, yeah.
Maybe, or maybe there'll be more.
I literally spent like 10 minutes on YouTube trying to find an open introduction that worked for this video from Jackass.
But yeah.
Ugh. I
Yeah.
I had so much fun with that.
Okay. With brick and mortar stores, you can't. Parents willingly sold their games to kids, and online stores, if it's not a fucking what's it called, a game-centric household, it was their choice to put the credit card information on that fucking device
That's also true. Yeah.
and not have it be supervised on what they're buying.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, now that you mention that when I got my original when I originally
Debit
got
card?
Modern Warfare 2,
Uh-huh.
it was actually in one of the most irresponsible ways I could think of as a parent. Like,
Yeah, but like
because literally how I got my copy was, it wasn't even mine, it belonged to someone else before me.
oh, dude, yeah, no.
But it was given to me by this like couple because I was friends with their son. That was the
Okay.
entire reason why they gave it to me.
Okay.
And they didn't even bother asking my parents.
And okay, here's how I want to know how I got my first Black Ops 2 copy. That my parents bought a pre-owned Xbox 360, and the original account was still on it.
Huh.
Oh.
So it just was there the entire time, and we could just play it. And like that's how we got a Black Ops 2 copy for basically with an Xbox.
Free game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was just straight up just given to me. With like out of my parents knowing. Of course my parents didn't care because they taught me pretty well because I was like 13 at the time.
Yeah, same.
So they kind of knew, like, I already knew the difference between fiction and reality. So, and of course,
I mean,
I'm not
Yeah.
an insane person.
If I don't
When
know.
I first played, I don't know. When I first played Mario, I wasn't thinking, "Oh, cool, maybe I can fucking triple jump."
I don't know. Maybe that's a sign. It's like we trust you or something like that. But generally, for a lot of people, this comes down to lazy parenting. It is something
yeah.
that has to be
I know.
considered seriously. I think so, at least.
Lazy
Oh, yeah.
to irresponsible parenting.
Yeah.
That's what
Yeah,
doesn't
no,
help.
Don't let
Mhm.
machines raise your kids. Don't have your kids become iPad kids. Those are a thing. That's becoming a thing.
We've known way too many people who have been.
iPad kids.
iPad kids.
Is that the most bought fucking tablets?
Yeah. Is any kid born between 2010 and now?
Mm-hmm.
Fortunately, that's what my nephews are becoming.
Go outside. Have the babies touch grass.